Hello critters, I'm Creature, and today we're talking about Fortnite Save the World, but this is a little bit more of a guide. I usually don't do guides because I'm more into testing out weapons instead of actually, giving out thorough information. Now, this is going to be thorough as I can make it, because I am not the one to make these type of videos, as I just said, but I'll try my best. But as of recent, pretty recent I'd say still, but as of recent, it's been really hard to get weapon schematics and trap schematics in Fortnite Save the World since you can no longer get them from mission rewards. So you can get heroes, defenders, and survivors from missions, but you just can't get schematics anymore, which does make it a little troubling to get weapons because, you can't just go around with a shopping list anymore. You're like, oh yes, let's go to Kenny to get the backbreaker, let's go to Twine to get the Vindertech disintegrator or whatever. Like, I don't know the weapons from heart, but you can't really do that anymore. The only real guaranteeing way to get a schematic anymore is from the llama shop or the exchange. You can exchange your tickets for some, maybe get some loot llamas for some schematics. Or, just go to the gold exchange and just buy, I don't know, a Krypton pistol if you want to for some reason. But let's say you don't have the gold for the Krypton pistol, and you still want to get the schematic, but you can't just go to a mission to get it anymore. So what should you do? So this is where research comes in. It's run by Lars, and essentially how it works is that you go into a mission, you get a weapon from like a crow, a chest, a vault, a storm chest, maybe an encampment, or one of those shooting ranges that I suck at. But essentially, you get a weapon schematic or a trap schematic from any method, and then after the mission is successful, you can come to Lars, research the weapon you got, or trap, and it will give you a carbon copy schematic of that said item. Now, the only issue with this is that you can only select one schematic per mission. So, if you get a bunch of schematics from one mission, you can only select one out of that entire pool, which can be a little bit problematic, because you might get some really tasty stuff and you kind of want to like get it all as the schematic, but you can't, sadly. It really isn't like that. Really, really bitterful at times about that, honestly. But it's a really good way to get it. But the only issue now is reliability. It cannot be reliable at times to enter a mission and leave. Because, well, obviously you can't just leave, but I mean leave as in go in, do it, and succeed, because you don't always succeed in missions. I think that should be an obvious given. The game isn't always the nicest. But I found a pretty reliable way, and it kind of depends on 3 missions. Now, those missions are supply drop. Since these are very easy to succeed and, complete, you can easily come in here, get the bare minimum requirement for the harvesting, and then spend the rest of the time just looking for schematics or weapons. It's a very good way to go in and get out to, get the stuff you need. Then there's also rescue survivors. That's also a really good one. Since it's very easy just to rescue a few, you can spend the rest of the time looking for schematics. I think you kind of see where I'm going with this. And then eliminate and collect. Once again, just reach the bare minimum, then just spend the rest of the time looking for schematics. Now, the only issue is that, yes, you are timed on all these, but if I were to suggest one as the best, I would probably say Rescue Survivors, since you have around 20 minutes to spend your time getting the schematics. But you also need to take into consideration the zone, because I really feel like the less buildings there are in a zone, the less chests there are. Now, you might be mostly reliant on crows and, the glowing animals to get your stuff, but from personal experience, having a bunch of just lootable goods, like conventional lootable, as in, chests, boxes, crates, whatever, I found that really more reliable than just hunting down glowing animals. Now, glowing animals will give you the best rewards for this little grind you might want to do for schematics. So I really do stress, going after them, but do keep in mind that you won't always find what you want. So you might have to do, you might have to go in, succeed, get out a lot. Or you can just dip the mission if you don't get the schematic you want. That might save you some time, but I think it's still a good idea to just, complete the mission, get the rewards, get the research point in, and then just go back in to go, do another round of it. Now, something I have noticed is that if you get a very high good quality schematic, like a broadside schematic, you can replace your old schematics with it, because with the one you just got from the mission, from the research, it will have a very fresh set of perks. Now, unlike your old one, which, you know, you fully perked yourself, you put on all the gold, all the purple, the new one will already have those slots filled. So what I've been doing is I've just been recycling my old ones and replacing them with new ones. Yeah, you can tell from the little purple bar that I actually uh, leveled it up. What's the term? I don't really think about this, honestly. Increase rarity, yeah. You increase the rarity sometimes, that might be worth it. Now, not everyone has gold flux, so that might not be the best move. But for cases like my, you know, wooden floor spikes, and, you know, the wall spikes, you know, I don't know why these ones aren't called wooden. You know, these are wooden, these aren't. But, you know, with these are fully just, you know, gold and given. Some reason it won't let me move it up and down, but now it will. Odd. But these came mostly gold. I think I upgraded 2 of them to be gold. That was it. So it really saved me a lot of resources just to do that. And with some of these other ones, you know, it's a good way to get your resources back, because then you can also now, you know, put them in towards weapons. You know, it's tasty. It's real tasty. It's real good. So I really do suggest going out by succeeding and not just diving the mission, because you can replace some of your old schematics and get the resources back for them, which is very nice. Now for a demonstration, we're going to head into Rescue the Survivors and just start resourcing and trying to get schematics out of this. Now, I don't know this accessibility of it. I might not get something I need or want, but it's a way to get schematics fairly easily, which is the whole point of this video, just to kind of share how I've been doing it, because there is no reliable way to get schematics easily anymore since they removed, you know, the schematic mission reward. So, yeah. Now, when I do this, I really do suggest people to load into no-fill. Now, yeah, it might be harder, but at least you know you have the time for, you know, just you to fully do it. Now, you can, like, load into a 160 and just do this. Do I suggest it? No! You're just being a leech at that point, and that's just uncool, man. Don't be a leech. Just go no-Q. Actually, before we get into the mission, this is what I suggest you run, just a basic Fossil Southie build. Now, I do have Supply Drop, which is the most reliable way to get, not weapon schematics, but trap schematics. I don't know why I couldn't think about that for a second, but it is the most reliable way to get trap schematics in just a big quantity. Now, I do believe they don't come pre-perked, so I'll just have to, you know, double check that once you get in game. But it is a good way to get trap schematics pretty easily, and since you can get this at a very early point in the game, it's also just reliable, you know? I know, graves are right. Alrighty, now since we're in game, we just gotta run around, do our main mission quest, which is just right now rescue 6 survivors, which is fairly easy. Now, when you have a survivor like this on a van, the easiest way to actually take care of them is just to make a bridge to them that the husks can easily get to. Because until the van is destroyed, the survivor is immortal. So, yeah. But we'll just let that be, and then we'll just start searching for schematics. So, you know, you want to run around? I don't know why I stuttered there, gosh. But yeah, just run around, kind of just look for anything. Now, while you're doing this, you might as well just, you know, grab other resources. It says, you know, you always need something. You always need something. Now, right up ahead, if I don't get stuck on a trailer, we actually have a storm chest. So we'll just activate it, throw down a teddy, and then we will just, you know, get the killing, I guess. Because once you kill 50 husks, you have to kill 2 mist monsters, and then it'll actually give you double rewards. And these actually have a very high likelihood to have a weapon schematic, or not weapon schematic, but a weapon drop. Okay, I just saw that happen, and I'm stuck on a nurse. But if we just do this, which I might not succeed, because it doesn't seem like they're all coming towards me. You have 30 seconds. I could probably pull it off. Let's do that. Get the defender back up. Honestly, I feel like this weapon's being like pretty weak. Way faster than this. Now, I think it was saying you can run a different build for this, but I feel like Outlander is just the best way, because they will make, you know, chests below for you if you have thing activated. Wow, we had a second to spare for that. I thought I wasn't going to make it, but we did. We're good. We're good. We had a second to spare. I'm surprised we actually, did that. But once we kill this taker, which they're not fighting, they're kind of just standing there letting it attack them. But if we just look at rewards, we got a hydraulic weapon. It's fully gold though. If you're looking for, well, I don't know if anyone would be looking for Tsunami or Tsunami. Gosh. But that's what I mean. Is that you will find weapon schematics. It's just it won't always be the one you want. So then after that, you just gotta go more exploring, more looting, more or less everything. But don't forget to be rescuing the survivors every so often, so you succeed in the mission and you're able to get your research point in. But yeah, honestly, there's a lot you can do. Also, don't forget to do supply drops. I actually forget these often. So as you can see, we got a couple traps. They're all purple this time, but sometimes they are gold, which is very good. You preferably want them in gold once you do get them. You don't really want to research purple stuff because they have to increase its rarity, which can be fairly annoying because not everyone has an overabundance of blocks. But yeah, there's a gold. There's a gold. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. It feels like often I don't get those, but I did. And right there we got another trap schematic, or trap, not just schematic, but point being. And right here we actually have a what is this? What is this? Helium shotgun with affliction built in. That's very good, and all the perks are gold. So all I have to do when I get to home base is just increase its level because it's only 118, and change its perks a bit, and then bam, I have a fully available helium gun, which I think that's what I'll do. So I'll see you at home base. Oh, and before I forget, the only downside to this is that you cannot choose what material it's made of. So this is a bright core helium shotgun, but if you're just looking for kind of anything, this will work. That's the only downside to it though, is that you cannot choose what material it's out of. So I do want that to, I do want you to keep that in mind. Yeah, I almost said I want me to keep that in mind. But keep that in mind, you cannot choose what material it's made out of. So we're gonna have a bright core helium shotgun when we get to home base. Alrighty, we are back at home base, so let's go down to research. Now, we have gathered a lot of resources from that one round of just farming, but we're here for the helium shotgun since it gives us the best options. Now, we did get some other options, less than the Terminator, the Tsunami, the Hammer Crush, but this comes pre-perked with Affliction, and it's also fully gold, so we don't have to add any, gold perk up to it. So we'll just convert that into a schematic. Now, there is no confirmation screen, so do be careful, do not misclick like I have a couple times. So let's go down to our, well, up actually, down's Clash and book up is, schematics, but let's go to our schematics, level that up to 130, and just, change out some of its perks. That's not what I meant. And then do that, then make you that. Bam! We have a fully usable and fully perked up helium shotgun. Now, a little bit of a run over. The easiest ways to get schematics are obviously from the supply drops, shooting range, encampments, storm chests, and those little weird gateway thingies you can see sometimes. Those are the good ones. And then, glowing animals, because they will always give you something pretty solid, as in this. I think this is a great example of what they can drop and what you can turn into it. Anyways, I hope to see you all next time, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.